Oh yes, okay, so here we were. The code that lets us check whether the ship has any module, whether the ship has any tracks. And like we're doing this in this really bad way right now, where we're basically asking yeah. Okay, I know what I need to do here. Basically, right now we're asking after an explicit list of tracks. And so the problem with this is that if there's like a mod that adds new kinds of tracks, then this bonus, which is meant to give a bonus to tracked vehicles, won't work properly for these new types. And the way we fix this is the way we fix it in other places as well. Which is that after we load everything in, we just create an explicit list of a particular type, in this case things which have tracks. So if empty dot wheel specs, so if it has some wheel specs, then there we go. Oh yes, the Bob Ross Twitch Marathon. I should actually check that out. There's also quite an amusing Twitter account, which is called something like Bob Ross Game Dev, which is kind of Bob Rossisms about game development, which is quite cute. Okay. Oh. So I'm making that movement because this is so hard coded. So hard coded. Oh dear. Okay. Oh god. Why? Okay. I'll figure out how to make this less bad later. Just make myself a note. There. Here on the other hand, I think here we just want an is sail. No. Oh, if we're adding these parameters, we also need to add it derived flipped. So if you're putting in flipped cells, you got confused, but never mind. Let's not put in weird Let's not put in weird surprises for modders where things randomly don't work. Oh yeah, question. How noticeable are the typing sounds, by the way? Because like the setup I've got is I've basically got a microphone on a little stand next to the computer. And I think it's okay in terms of audio quality of voice, but when I hit, you know, things on the table, the sound travels right into the microphone. Because I don't have a proper setup with like a spider and an arm. So I hope the actual sound of typing isn't overwhelmingly loud. If it is, do tell me. At some point I just need to like plonk down some more money and get a better setup for the audio stuff. I'm still a complete noob when it comes to all of these things, basically. Oh dear. Oh dear. So hard-coded. Guys, this is so hard-coded. So this is the list of interesting modules that the targeting system might want to shoot at. And it's hard-coded, which we'll not do. So yeah, we're gonna have to do another list, much like tracks, called interesting. Okay, so if if it's some kind of bridge, or if it's a weapon, or if it generates lift, or generates propulsion, or it improves targeting, then it's interesting to shoot at. So this is to prevent the airships to just like keep on shooting like completely boring bits like crew quarters or corridors or something. They kind of try to shoot bits which are, you know, sticking out or otherwise interesting looking. Okay, keyboard noise is apparently okay. Thank you, Selmore, for verifying that. What did I say? The final? Oh, yes. Okay. Get rid of this. So basically, if the type of a particular module is interesting, then it is 10 times as likely to be shot at than anything else. Also, if it emits any kind of smoke, then again, that suggests that, hey, you know, where there's smoke, there's fire. Where there's fire, there's, you know, if you smash it, maybe it will set something on fire, which is pretty nice. This is the bit which actually loads in and saves modules. Okay. Oh yeah, this code is actually not being used, which is a bit stupid. It's called is modular fixer, and basically what it does is that it analyzes your ship design and figures out what's wrong with it. And on the basis of that, it will suggest modules that will make it work. So, for example, if there's insufficient lift, it will say, "Hey, here's modules that produce lift," and it's not being used at the moment, which is a bit daft. I used to do some kind of subtle highlighting on modules, but I think no one really noticed this. So I think probably I want something a bit more explicit, which somehow goes like, "Hey, hey, little fluttery thing. Hey, listen. If you add this module, then your ship design will work. Hey." Okay, maybe slightly less obtrusive, but you get the idea. That's just a giant bag of nope right now. That's the code that renders ships, and that doesn't work properly anymore because of all the changes I made, and that's something I'm gonna have to read and then think about how to restructure. So we're not doing that right now. We're just going over the code and fixing up trivial issues. I roll. This is actually all part of the attract mode, which is you don't get to see basically. It's what I use when the game is being displayed at some kind of festival or something like that. The idea is that instead of just sitting there, if you turn on attract mode, it's like an old arcade game or something. It goes, okay, no one's playing with me. I'm just going to play with myself. So it sets up, what it does, it sets up random combats and kind of, kind of tries to show off how the fighting works and zooms in on different ships. Or then sometimes it picks a random ship design and it kind of demonstrates what each bit is and so on. The module categories are still uppercase. That we know is again, so this is the bit where the really clever code which updates all of the derived graphics, like the damaged versions of modules, like the fragments spinning off, like all of that. That's where that's going to happen at some point in the future. Oh, the AI. Not as bad as I thought it might be. Okay, we need yet another list, keels and rams. What unites those is that they're solid enough that you can ram things with them. Okay, that's nice. So if you add a new type of RAM to the game, the AI will also now understand that it's a RAM and will use it correctly. Okay, we're actually done. So the first thing to do here is just to commit this all. Okay, so let's take stock. Right now we're at a place where everything that I wanted to is now loadable from JSON. I still need to convert all of this module type X data here into actual JSON files. Then there's a bunch of places where the game still needs fixing up. One major part is the generation of derived graphics. So that's fragments, that's damaged, and that's the pre-baked lighting. And that needs to be all made to work together with Spritesheet Bundle. The Spritesheet Bundle basically goes, ooh, I'm a Spritesheet Bundle. Oh, I don't have an up-to-date version of my fragments or for my modules or something. Let's redo all of this. So that then modules have correct fragments and so on. So that's like one bit, and then the other bit is basically in a lot of places like troops visual layer and land formation visual layer and ship layers. So these are all basically these are the bits which render the game, troops, bits of landscape and ships. Those need to be doing because they're all running on the assumption right now that all of their graphics come from a single sprite sheet, because like right now, or previously at least, everything in the game more or less came from a single image. But now with mods, that's not going to be true anymore, because you can add new images for new stuff. And so all of this code has to understand that actually as it's looping over like module types or whatever, that you can't rely on the idea that everything comes from the same place. And this is made a bit more complicated by the fact that it's using shaders to do all of this stuff. And so you have to change which textures bound to the shader at some point in the process. Okay, so that's basically the thing. That's basically what it needs to do sensibly and eventually efficiently. But yeah, that's roughly it. So we can really basically say all to do is move module type data into JSON files, damaged fragments and light baking support in Spritesheet Bundle. Oh yeah, also, this is actually somewhat trivial, but it needs doing. Invoke, update, appearances after load. Yeah, and then the final thing is support for multiple sheets in ship, crew, and land formation drawing. So once I've done these things, the game will compile again. I can hit run. I can see just how badly things crash, and I can get to the fun bit of fixing up all, the little corner cases which I didn't see at the time. But yeah, once that's done, that's a major chunk of Dev 8 of the next version done. That's the support for modding done, and it opens up a whole bunch of possibilities also in terms of adding more monsters and things like that. So yeah, I think at this point it's probably a decent time to stop after about 2 hours of streaming. Thank you all for watching. I will be back soon. If you look at the bottom of the stream, you can see there's a kind of a provisional schedule which I tend to stick to. So I will be back next week at the same time to do more game development streaming. For now, thank you for watching. Do click the subscribe button, do click the little heart. I need to up my follower count because arbitrary numbers make me feel good, because I've been conditioned by the internet to think that arbitrary numbers should make me feel good. So yeah, do that, and I will see you in the future.